Up next, Authentically Detroit sits down with Alex Washington and Faith Smith of Vaulted Youth Voices, plus Daivon Reeder, creator and co-host of the Something Relevant podcast. He introduces the Deep Network's inaugural podcast. But first, this week's hot takes from MLive, Bridge Detroit, and Chalkbeat Detroit. Poor students and Black students are disappearing from Michigan colleges, and Detroit District's discipline proposal would give schools more power to suspend students. Keep it locked. Authentically Detroit starts after these messages.
Hey, it's Stephen Henderson from WDET and Bridge Detroit. If you love listening to Orlando and Donna's incisive interviews and conversations on the Authentically Detroit podcast, I hope you'll also listen to the podcast I host, Detroit Today, from WDET on Detroit's NPR station. Detroit Today is a daily podcast where I talk with community leaders, elected officials, and residents of Detroit, the region, and the state about politics and the values that animate our communities. Listen to Detroit Today every day on your favorite podcast app.
Hey, y'all, it's Orlando. We just want to let you know that the views and opinions expressed during this podcast episode are those of the co-hosts and guests and not their sponsoring institutions. Now, let's start the show. Hello, Detroit and the world. Welcome to another episode of the Authentically Detroit podcast, broadcasting live from the new Deep Network podcasting studio inside of the Stoudemire at ECN. We are a content partner to BridgeDetroit.com. I'm Orlando Bailey.
And I'm Donna Givens-Davidson.
We back. Thank you for listening in and supporting our efforts to build a platform of authentic voices for real people on the east side of Detroit. We normally say on the east side, but Charity changed my script. We want to thank you, and we want you to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast on all platforms. Donna and I are joined today by Alex Washington and Faith Smith of Vaulted Youth Voices. Hey, y'all. Hi. And Daivon Reeder, co-host of the Deep Network's inaugural podcast, Something Relevant. Daivon, what's up?
What's up, everybody? What's up?
We are so excited to have everyone here in the studio. So I'm playing host and producer. So y'all give me just a little bit of grace.
And we have our new podcasting equipment, so we have sound effects.
And I'm working them out. This is the same podcasting equipment that we use on the Return of the Mac episodes when we were at Mackinac Policy Conference. Donna, Alex, Faith, and Daivon, how is this blessed Monday finding each of you? Faith, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah. How was your day?
It's good. I woke up early because I had my internship, but it's good.
Where are you interning at?
Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley. You fancy. What are you doing at Morgan Stanley?
Basically, it's like a course where we interact with people in their different professions, and they tell us how they are, how they got to where they are now, and how we can be like them.
You're learning a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like most about it?
I like hearing the different perspectives, and just hearing like how the company provides the basic needs for their employees, whether that be mental or physical health.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are right by Campus Martius, right?
Oh, no, we're virtual.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. That's
because
not fun.
our internship is based in New
Come
York.
closer to the mic.
Our internship is based in New York, but we're in Detroit. So
Oh, okay.
we're virtual.
All right. Alex, how are you?
I'm good.
How was your day? What did you do?
My day was good. I was doing the same thing as Faith.
So you're at Morgan Stanley, too?
Yes.
Okay. What do you like most about it?
I like speaking to the college interns that are there. It's nice to figure out what they're doing and how they got there and their experience at U of M, because all the people that we're talking to and the interns there are at U of M.
Oh, are you thinking about going to U of M?
Yes.
Yes. Go blue. I mean, this is a blue room. I mean,
This
Donna is a blue.
Definitely blue.
She bleeds blue. I don't
We
know.
do.
Not I don't, but you know, she does.
Yeah, well,
you know.
since he's called me David Ruffin of the crew, I guess.
David.
We all bleed blue, okay?
We are, and we are the Temptations. Listen, I called Donna David Ruffin of our group because we know. So we had to get podcasting equipment for our Mackinac
And
series.
when he says we, he means me.
So that, I don't think we've told this story on the air.
No.
So on the way to Mackinac, Donna forgot to pack up the podcasting.
No, I forgot to purchase it.
Oh, she forgot to purchase the podcasting equipment to come up to Mackinac. So I'm up in Mackinac. We got interviews scheduled. I'm prepping or whatever. And so I'm there on the first day. It's like, reception is not a lot of seminars or anything, plenaries. And Donna calls me like at 7:00 that night. She was like, "Hey, Orlando." I'm like, "Hey, Donna, what's up? Where you at?" She was like, "You're not going to believe this. I forgot to pick up the podcasting equipment from the store." I was like, "Okay, well, I could figure something out with WDET, but, they have a really packed schedule because they weren't counting on us, so we probably should try to figure something out." She's like, "I'm going to figure something out." So she's in the car Googling, because we're in the UP, right? So there's no like Best Buy, there's no Guitar Center, right? So she Googles something closer to the UP in Canada.
I Googled everything. I'm going to tell this part of the story. First of all, we went to Mackinac. We were supposed to be there on the 30th, which is the day after Memorial Day. I moved my entire house on the 24th. Came to work on the 25th for a special program. Had something to do on the 26th and the 27th. I was babysitting my grandson. I had not slept. I was so tired. Normally, I drive a lot. I was so tired. I was driving, and Kevin said, "Can you please pull over so we can live?" In the midst of me pulling over so we can live, I'm also looking up equipment and trying to find a Best Buy somewhere in the Upper Peninsula or near the Upper Peninsula. There's nothing, okay? So I was like, why don't I check in Sault Ste. Marie and see if they have something? So I found a store in the Sault Ste. Marie. So that morning, the next morning, first, and also I had boxes of mugs, boxes of pens, the two banners, and I had a tablecloth to drive up and take on a ferry to the island with me, in addition to needing this equipment. So I want you to
I forgot that when I was leaving to the city, I called Donna to make sure she had everything and that she needed everything.
Yeah, because like I said, I moved my entire household. So I did not properly. Well, that was very thoughtful of him to call. However, I did the work. Okay, I ordered it. I picked it up. I drove there, got to Mackinac Island, and got up there. Almost got there. Got to a hotel that night. We got into Mackinac City at about 1 a.m. Walked into the hotel room. It was so bad I wouldn't even take off my shoes. So then we had to go find another hotel room. Got into our hotel at 2 a.m. Got up the next morning, had to drive to Sault Ste. Marie to get this equipment, pick it up, bring it back. And when I got there, had to remember all of the things we needed, come back, take all of this stuff on the ferry and get it from the ferry to the hotel. So in the process of me purchasing these things at the last minute, they had 3 microphone stands that were the
very
same,
basic
and one that
microphone stands.
I tried to buy 4 very basic microphone stands, but they ran out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I purchased one microphone stand that was different. I joked around and said, "This is my stand." I also got 2 microphones.
I'm going to take a photo
that
of this,
are better
listeners,
quality than the other 2 microphones. And as I get there, I have to figure out how to get it upstairs, all of that. So, yes, I guess if David Ruffin was doing all the work, getting stuff up to where they had to do some stuff, I am David Ruffin. But if David Ruffin was just a diva who did nothing and watched everybody do some work, we might have to consider a change in my name.
All right. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to see the picture on the Instagram. Daivon, hi, before I get to Donna, how are you doing, Daivon? Good to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. I'm doing okay. I'm co-heading our summer youth employment program here. So I'm kind of like in my teacher bag again. Mm. And like towards the end of the day, you wore out. But I'm doing good today.
How many young people do we have this summer?
We have about 40.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So we have more young people
that are being paid to work
than we have ever had working for us this summer. I'm really excited about that. You come in this building, and the building is just full of activity, young people everywhere, and we're in the process, actually. Daivon is a youth development manager, and one of the things that we're doing is we're reshaping our work, because we want to make sure that young people are not just participating in some of our change activities in the community and power building, but that they're helping to lead stuff, right? Because every time there's community change, young people are at the forefront. It's your community. It's your future. We have, you inherit everything, but we need your voices and your ideas. And so we're trying to really reposition our young people as being leaders of change initiatives. We're going to talk about a couple of things today. We're going to talk about going to college, and we're going to talk about suspension policies, which are two really significant things for young people to talk about. And they're impacting young people in our community, but you don't have a voice in our community's organization to express your concerns. And you don't have a way of getting people like me behind you so that we can protest as needed. Now, I know these two young, beautiful ladies are Renaissance High School students, and they are doing very well in one of Detroit's premier institutions. However, even at Renaissance, I know there's challenges. And there's times when you need people to step up for you, or is everything just working out perfectly in your high school years?
It's issues at the school, but I know it's issues at every school.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that we are using our voices as activists to speak on behalf of students, or to position students to speak on behalf of themselves, and for us to stand there with our fist up. And trying to support you. So I'm really excited about the change we're undergoing.
Yeah, it's a summer youth employment program teaching young folks to do just
It's
that.
doing exactly that, and we're using tools that they're familiar with. So we're using social media to kind of like advocate and speak and educate. So they're not only doing social reform and social justice, we're also doing one of our groups have Detroit Black History. And they're learning things. I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, a lot of them didn't know that Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech here. And I'm like, yeah. So as they're learning, they're coming back and teaching their group. And like, you can see like, and then it's something that they're used to using every day. And they're looking like, oh, I can use social media for other ways and advocacy and education. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Donna, how are you?
I'm good. It's the sun is out today. The temperature is good. And the air quality is good. Whew, can we cheer for that?
I know
we
that's
should
right.
cheer for the air quality, but the air quality will keep you in all summer. So I was really excited. Yesterday, Kevin and I rode our bikes to Belle Isle, rode around the island, and we got back home just in time to escape the rain. What about you, Orlando? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I feel good. I think that today has zipped by. There was not enough time in the day. But, I feel good. Got to get some work done. I've worked out of ECN today, and it's so hard not falling back into like my old habits being in the building all day. But it was cool. I sort of confined myself to one space in the building and didn't, stayed there. But it's been a good day. I had a good weekend, spent it with family. We had a family fish fry yesterday, and it was black and gorgeous. It was so dope because when black people had a fish fries, they fried the fish outside because you don't want. So you got the fryer and stuff outside. The grill was going, had the playlist going, and everybody just sitting around just talking. It was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. We stayed up talking till after midnight, and when I looked at the clock and it was midnight, I'm like, I gotta go to work in the morning. So I feel good. I've
been seeing a lot of family reunions and family barbecues. It actually inspired me. Like, I text all my cousins, like, I don't care what beef y'all got, y'all putting it to the side because we are meeting up this year.
We getting together. Yeah.
You know what I decided to start doing is Sunday dinners again.
Yeah.
So we had Sunday dinners yesterday. I actually cooked 2 meals
at the new spot.
At the new spot. And I cooked 2 meals. I'm not really that into cooking, but I'm trying to put myself back into it because food is what brings people together. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm excited about that. I think we spent so much time apart from each other, coming together as in the family reunions and other ways as families is really important. So if you have strategies to get people to put their beefs aside and aside of families, please educate me. That's the goal.
Was it really?
That's the goal.
I'm still figuring it out. I just use my leverage.
No, I don't care what you got going on. You coming over.
Luckily, I'm everybody's favorite cousin, and I'm the one everybody loves. So I was just like, look, just do it for me. Like, you can be on the whole other side of the park.
So you're Ahmad from Soul Food.
I literally just said that on the podcast Saturday.
I have a sister I have not talked to in 9 years. And it hurts every single day that we don't speak. And so she doesn't listen to this podcast, but if she did, I want her to know that it's not good being estranged from people that you love. And, that means I'm not as close to my niece and nephews as I would be. So bringing people together is really important.
Yeah.
And that's a gift. It's a gift. Not everyone can do it.
My cousins have it's probably like 10 younger cousins that I have that like say all the time I'm doing all this good work and helping the community and I'm resourced, but I can't even help my cousins because people got few. And then it's like some of them can't even tell you why they mad. And it's like, you gotta forgive.
They've just been mad for so
Yeah,
long.
you gotta forgive. It's time. It's not about you no more.
Yeah. All right, forgiveness. That's the theme of this catch up real quick. All right, listen, y'all. It's time for Hot Takes, where we run down some of the week's top headlines in the city of Detroit. For Hot Takes, Matthew Miller from MLive says poor students and Black students are disappearing from Michigan colleges. Governor Gretchen Whitmer reorganized Michigan's education bureaucracy last week. The Michigan Department of Lifelong Education Advancement and Potential focuses on preschool access and on higher education. And part of its charge, according to the executive order that created it, is to ensure that every Michigander has the skill certificate or degree they need to prosper. The every Michigander portion of that may prove to be a challenge. As the number of college students in Michigan has plummeted over the last decade or so, the numbers of low-income students and Black students have fallen much faster. The number of Michigan college students eligible for federal Pell Grants, which largely go to students from low-income families, fell by 52% between 2011 and 2021, according to federal data compiled by Michigan Independent Colleges and Universities. It's the largest drop in the country, both numerically and percentage-wise. The number of Black students fell by 48%, second only to Illinois. Donna, what say you?
It's a travesty, and it has a lot to do with the fact that we are not preparing young people for college. And that has a lot to do with how policymakers decided to reform education in their way. So now we have bunches and bunches of charter schools which siphon money away from traditional public schools. And a lot of times we're focused on test scores instead of teaching. And a lot of students are just missing out. A lot of students do not believe their college material because we say things like, if you have this number on your ACT, you're not college material. And the ACT is a scientifically unscientific way of assessing somebody's college readiness. But students hear that.
But it's racially biased.
It's absolutely racially biased. It's absolutely biased by income. So poor Black students are always going to do worse in many ways than other students simply because of differences in vocabulary, differences in life experiences, and a lack of access to test-taking instruction. We cannot conflate taking this test with intelligence, but too many times through public policy and other things, we communicate this is true. And then we say, well, you know what? You don't need to go to college. You can go to community college, which is also under enroll. You can go to these trade schools and you can learn a skill and make money that way. What they haven't mentioned is that most students who go to trade schools do not end up graduating earning money equivalent to students who went to college. And in 5 years' time, the gap widens. So I think that and then there's also the bias against jobs that are traditionally occupied by women. If you are a student assistant, a parapro teacher, a teacher without a bachelor's degree, if you are a nurse without a nursing degree, you're going to earn wages that are much lower than those people who have professional degrees. So we need to re-educate people about how college can impact them. Not everybody has to go to college, but if you're not going to college, you need to understand the pathway. When it comes to community college, Michigan has the lowest rate of community college completion, one of the lowest rates in the nation. So saying you don't need to go to a 4-year college, go to a community college. Some people, the rate of students who complete one full year, 24 equivalent college credits is something like 10%.
Wow, that's nuts.
Which 90% don't finish. We need to...
The first year.
Right, but we have these platitudes, we have these things we're telling young people. There was a time when young people were encouraged to go to college and we had pathways to bridge wherever they were to where they needed to be so they could go and complete it. And I think we need to return to those pathways.
You could also go to college on a Ford, GM, Chrysler assembly line salary if your parents were working. And I wonder too if part of this has to do with folks are just waking up and it's like, the college degree and certificate isn't worth the amount of debt that one would imagine.
Well, but low-income students have the least amount of debt. That's the other thing. There's enough scholarships and grants available to people at the lowest spectrum of the income that affordability is less of an issue. Those students can
If you have a good guidance counselor.
If you have a good guidance counselor who can educate you, but all those students who are pushed into these charter schools, a lot of times they're not learning this information.
Mhm.
Michigan College Access Network, I just stepped down from the board today because of my busy schedule, but through that I learned that how few students are actually filling out FAFSA forms, right? Which is the gateway to getting scholarships. How many students are being educated about their possibilities? I've talked to so many high school age students who say, I can't afford college. And I'm saying you absolutely can. If you're in foster care, there's programs for students in foster care.
I know
So
that.
I think that we need to do more to encourage it. But the other thing, and I think this is also important to point out, is that we're not spending enough to support family stability. Some people feel like they have to work directly after they graduate from high school to take care of families. In 1994, before welfare was reformed, something like 87% of all people who qualified for cash aid received it. Today, about 11% of people who qualify for cash aid receive it. Now, when we created that welfare reform, they called it temporary aid for needy families, okay? Right now in Michigan, only 19% of temporary aid for needy families, which is what we used to call welfare, is going to support people in need of cash aid, cash assistance. 52%.
Say that number again. 19%. That's it.
The average across the United States is 52%. So when we want to talk about Mississippi or Alabama, it's going to things like foster care, but it is also going to merit-based scholarships. So merit-based scholarships are scholarships that are based on test scores, okay? And so we're talking about moving this money from the intended recipients to people who actually don't need it because they have the kind of wealth and family stability. I shouldn't say they can't need it because college is ridiculously expensive. But what I should say is from the neediest Detroiters to those who are less needy. And you see this happening all over the United States. There's now talk in our state about moving dollars to support low-income housing to middle-income housing because middle-income people are also struggling, despite evidence that people who are the poorest in our society need the most help. So if we want more Black kids going to college, we're going to have to do a couple of things. Invest in guidance counselors, number one. Educate people about their possibilities.
Let's not understate that. Yes. That makes a huge difference. The guidance counselor in the high school. And what are the numbers, I think, for how hundreds of students?
1 out of every 500 or 600. There's one guidance counselor. 1 out of every 500 or 600 students. It's ridiculous math, and it doesn't make any sense. But this is what happens when you constantly have to balance school budgets, and we keep on allowing money to be spent in other places. I could go on, and I don't want to do that because I want to open up room, but I just do want to say these things. Number one, again, invest in guidance counselors. Number two, educate parents and students about possibilities and access to resources in 9th grade. Don't wait until 12th grade because by then it's almost too late for some people. Their minds have already been made up. This is not my pathway. And actually you can do it younger, but by 9th grade you should be doing that. And number three, we need to do more to stabilize low-income families and Black families across the state so that students feel as though they have the luxury of going away and investing in themselves while their families are going to be okay when they leave.
So from 2011 to 2021, Michigan's student population, college student population, Black student population dropped by 48%. Alex and Faith, how are y'all responding to that as future college students and graduates?
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't know, but it's something that I'm not surprised about because I know a lot of people around me that are my color are feeling discouraged about college, about how they're going to pay for funding, if they can even get into these schools. Because there were programs like my mom or the people around me gave me and put me in programs that helped me prepare for college. Like I'm in Wolverine Pathways now, and we did SAT prep for, I think, 2 years to prepare for that. And I'm still not satisfied with my score. And a lot of people don't have access or aren't informed about these programs. So if you feel discouraged about college or you feel like you can't afford it, then you wouldn't go.
Yeah. And you don't prepare to go, right? Because if you don't think college is in my path, you're not doing everything necessary to go. So if you change your mind in 12th grade, it gets more difficult to get in because you may not have gotten the grades or taken the classes that are necessary. The other thing I think we need to do is eliminate using test scores to admit students.
Yeah, why are we still taking ACTs and SATs?
Yeah.
A lot of schools have
I don't
already
get
eliminated standardized test scores as a
It's not a
criteria.
requirement anymore for so many
Exactly.
schools. I don't understand because that's an inexorbitant amount of time spent trying to prepare for those tests. Faith, what say you?
For me, I started preparing to go to college in about the end of my 5th grade year, just because I'm in a household with a single parent, a single mother, and our income is like less than 20. So I already knew, and I had like a support system around me, like, okay, y'all need to get this money, because for me, it was never a question of if I was going to college. It was a question when and how I'm going to pay for it. Along with Alex, I am in Wolverine Pathways. And for me, like, I went to a senior overnight where we stayed on campus at U of M Ann Arbor. And they were like, okay, write down your overall GPA and write down your SAT score. And it was this one boy, and he had like 1,000 flat. And he had like a 3.5. And they were like, okay, in order to get admitted, you need to have all A's your senior year. Like, you cannot. If you don't, then you won't get admitted.
And in many instances, even if you have all A's, because test scores exist, if you took them out of the equation, you could look at things like academic performance in classes that you take, how well you are, how hard a worker you are, because grades are the best predictor of college success, not test scores. Daivon, what was your college growing experience like?
My college experience, I kind of always knew where I wanted to go. I always wanted to go to Michigan State, and in the test aspect, sorry y'all, but once I got that 21 and I knew that's what I needed, like, I didn't even take the test anymore. I stopped worrying about it. Like, I prepped, like, I just want to get this 21. I know my GPA was good enough, and I knew I was outside the classroom. I was good. I did everything. I did every single thing I could do, track, debate, chess, everything, because I wanted to be the complete candidate. And but for me, and even working with the youth now, like, the first thing they say is, I can perform in other ways. It's just a test. It makes me scared. It makes me nervous.
That was me.
Yeah, I have anxiety behind it. It's I can study all this time, but as soon as I get there, I forget all the techniques and all the tips that I learned. And it's like, okay, what's your GPA? I got a 3.8. I have all, and it's like, right. I can perform. It's just that test, that the stress that it puts it on. And for me, that was a shared experience for me. But same thing as Faith said, it was never a matter of if, it was like how and what way, because I knew my family didn't see anything like that for me. But yeah, it was a struggle. But I think now, after I figured it out, I'm always going and telling people, like, go to college. Even if you just go to try it, just go to try it. One of my big things is we don't teach our youth how to college. Because it's like, when you get there, it's a culture shock.
After you get there, we teach them how to get there, but what happens? That's a good point.
At Eastern, our retention rate was 33% for Black men. So it's like, if me and Orlando go,
it was even lower than that when I was there.
One of us wouldn't be there the next semester, and it's like, because we don't know how to save, we don't know to pick what classes to pick and things like that. I think I was taking like 300 level classes as a second semester freshman.
Me too.
Nobody told me, like, don't do this. So,
I was doing okay though. We figured it out.
Yeah, I made it happen. Yeah. But
I mean,
our retention rate when I was there was it was half that.
Yeah,
it was half that. I mean, it's been something that has been a problem for a long time. I think that's a really great point. I mean, we work so hard to get our young folks prepped and ready to get there, right? What happens when they get there? I think that's something that we should look at programmatically, even, as you guys endeavor to host 40 young people, some of whom I'm sure are in college, to really look at that and how to adjust to culture and independence. And,
I think one of my biggest things is, like, getting there, going from a class that everybody looks like me, nobody looks like
man in a big lecture hall.
Yeah,
I would be in a big lecture hall and be the only one at Eastern Michigan.
Like, keep up. You just gotta keep up.
A lot of the Black students at Eastern Michigan were put in that separate program that was a remedial program, most of whom didn't make it out, and it really makes me angry that colleges set those programs up in the way they do, because you collect full tuition from somebody and they're using up their Pell Grants in these programs
and get no credit,
conferring actual credit at the end of it. Wayne State used to have a similar program. I think that there's other ways to help people catch up on their skills other than putting them in an entirely different program. And it just becomes a cash cow for the university at the expense of students. So I think you're right. I think it's actually helping students navigate the entire thing. If you need remedial education and you go to a 2-year college, the reason our students don't make it out a lot of times is because they give up. What's the point of this? They don't understand what the process is from enrolling, perhaps taking remedial classes so they can improve their math and writing skills and reading skills, to graduating. And, there's ways for other states that figured it out. For example, in some states, when you're admitted to a community college, you are also admitted to a 4-year college. And that 4-year college you're admitted to a 4-year college if you attain a certain grade point average and acquire a certain number of credits. So students have it in their mind, I'm here now and I'm going to go somewhere else later. Henry Ford Community College used to have a relationship like that with U of M Dearborn, and the retention rate of community college students knowing they were admitted into U of M really rocked it up. So I encourage colleges and universities to rethink that, and those of us in the community also have to provide those supports.
I appreciate you saying that, especially about the remedial courses. I mean, that's ridiculous and so inequitable. We're going to go to the next story. You're listening to Authentically Detroit Hot Takes. Detroit District's discipline proposal would give schools more power to suspend students. Detroit school district leaders want to give school administrators more leeway to suspend or transfer students amid growing concerns about student misbehavior. Under a stricter student code of conduct, Detroit Public Schools community district officials are proposing deans and principals would have a greater flexibility to impose out-of-school suspensions and could suspend a student after just the first instance of fighting. The proposed changes, which Superintendent Nikolai Vitti outlined for school board members at a recent committee meeting, would mark a sharp reversal from a less punitive policies that the district adopted just 5 years ago, when Vitti and the school board raised concerns that the code of conduct was too ambiguous and that student discipline varied from school to school. Vitti said that the latest proposals were intended to give school administrators more authority to deal swiftly with behavioral problems in their buildings. The changes were supposed to go before the school board at its July 11th meeting, but were removed from the agenda. The district did not respond to questions about whether it planned to introduce the proposal later or make changes to it. The proposed revisions come at a time when lawmakers across the country have moved to make it easier to kick disruptive students out of school, a pivot towards stricter discipline that reflects growing concerns about student behavior and school violence. But some students and advocates view the potential changes as a step in the wrong direction, suggesting that the new policy language would embolden teachers and school administrators to suspend students in lieu of other interventions and strategies. Already, some students say administrators are short-circuiting district policies and state laws that were designed to reduce punishment and emphasize communication and engagement with students. Here's the quote. "We already overuse these punishments and penalties," said Janala Young, an incoming sophomore at Renaissance High School. "It sometimes just feels like they don't want to help us," she added. "They want to control us." Faith and Alex, I'm going to come to you two first. What do you think about this?
I think after the first instance is a little extreme. I think instead of punishment, we should try reform. Like, what's happening? Why is this student so angry? What was the altercation? What was it a result of?
Yeah.
I feel like this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about guidance counselors and mental health programs in school. It feels like, just like the quote said, it's less like they're trying to help and more like they're trying to control, because most destructive children have underlying issues that should be addressed. So if you're removing them from one issue and not helping them, it's just going to create more problems.
I'm trying to understand. When there's a student that is quote unquote misbehaving, you send them home on a vacation. I mean, what does that do, right? I don't understand how that is supposed to incentivize some sort of change in behavior on part. I never understood.
It does incentivize a change in behavior. It incentivizes school dropout. It incentivizes academic failure. It incentivizes students to disengage from the academic atmosphere, because those students who get in trouble a lot are already stigmatized. People know who they are. teachers
teachers
know
don't
who they
like
are.
them, and they know,
Teachers don't like them, and it follows them. And so I really love the fact that you asked Faith and Alex first, and they were able to give you those responses, because I always worry about how people are going to respond. People have all kinds of challenges in our society. You have so much poverty and so many other kinds of things that people are dealing with, intersectional injustices. And the only way we know how to respond, especially when they are Black, is punishment. If there's shootings, more police. If there's violence in schools, more punishments. But in fact, the state of Michigan in 2006 adopted a policy. The Michigan School Board adopted a policy on positive behavior intervention and support. That is the statewide policy for how school districts should address misbehavior, starting with using decisions based on data, conducting a functional behavioral assessment, proactively and positively teaching appropriate behavior, and then monitoring the impact of interventions. And this is done in 3 tiers. The primary intervention is educating everybody and using it for everybody. Reward works better than punishment in changing behavior. We know that. That's science. It's not me saying it, but people say this doesn't work good for Black kids. We need something special because we are different, right? But anyway, the primary intervention. The second intervention is targeting it towards students who have the greatest disciplinary needs. And then the third is for students who are really acting out, having intensive interactions. Okay, those are known policies and procedures are used in school districts all over the nation, but they're not used in places like Detroit because we don't believe they're going to work with our kids, and because our kids don't have enough power to enforce it. Our parents are not educated to enforce it. And so we allow our children to be disciplined into being good, and it never works. And then we say, you know what, these kids are just bad luck.
Why do you think the bait and switch? I remember when BD came in, and it was sort of, a dramatic change. And I remember some administrators and teachers not really liking that he was enacting more restorative justice policies in the student code of conduct. Why do you think it changed now?
I think we sometimes incompletely implement best practices, and we just have okay practices or lacking practices. You take away the punishment, but you don't replace it with something. You're going to have to hire people who are trained to conduct it. You're going to have to monitor each school and ensure that people are making that shift. When you don't do that, what ends up happening is half-assed implementation, and then you say, oh, this doesn't work. No, it doesn't.
No,
you don't even believe in it.
Yeah. Because when I came back from the Army, I went back to Frederick Douglass, where I graduated from, and I was I did the restorative practices with I was contracted in from the union, but the teachers wouldn't use it as they were using it as a tool just to get the kids out. And it's like, you have to follow those steps to restorative practice for it to be efficient, for it to work.
Right. But the restorative practices are one thing. Positive behavior, intervention, and support is a structured methodology that school districts can adopt. It's hard to get schools to change their policies and practices, but you don't give up. I was reading somewhere where in, I think, Oregon, they decriminalized hard drugs. And they stopped sending people to prison, but they didn't increase more treatment beds. And they're like, oh, there's more addicts here. Okay, you're not treating the illness. You think either you treat illness or you ignore it. Either you treat a student who is demonstrating behavior problems or you ignore it. Those are 2 bad options. And we have to hold people accountable for these types of changes. We have to equip schools with people who are specialists. We spend how much money on policing? We spend how much money on all kinds of technology that students never use? We're unwilling to invest in the kind of resources that make students whole. And the reason we don't, I believe, is because we really don't have high expectations of those students to reform. In our minds, we're thinking, you know what, these are just bad kids. That's how people look at Black kids, right?
Yeah.
Either you're a good one or you're a bad one. And there's no in between. And if you're a good one, we're going to invest resources in you. And if you're a bad one, you better become a good one. If you want our attention, you want our resources. That's how Black people, to me, have been viewed and treated for so long. And you see it happening in schools. It is offensive to me that the superintendent is talking about this. And I'm certain he's being pressured by people who work inside of schools who say, we need to do something, right? And then that's it.
Yeah, and I'm sure the school board is going to put their rubber stamp on it because they rarely challenge VD. I think that the timing of this is unique. They do. I agree.
Well, I
said what I said.
They took it off the agenda, though. They did take it off the agenda.
Not because Not because we see the same thing with city council and Duggan proposals, right? They'll prolong it until everybody starts paying attention to something else, and then they'll rubber stamp it.
That's why we need student activism.
That's why we need student activism. But the timing of this is I don't know, serendipitous to me, because we're talking about maybe a year and a half, 2 years emergent from the pandemic, right? Students lost the ability to gather, lost the ability to sit in a classroom for 2.5 years. And I think we are still researching and learning about the kind of psychological and behavioral effects that pandemic learning has had on our young people. And I don't think without the proper research, without the results, without scientific methodology, we should be making any kind of drastic changes to the student code of conduct right now. I still don't know how. I've ran into somebody that I hadn't seen since 2019 and bursted out into tears. It's like, oh my God, you made it to the other side. In 2023, there are still like raw emotions and things that we haven't confronted, that we need to confront, that are probably exacerbated in student behavior and how they show up.
But how about partnering with organizations like ours that support students so that the schools don't have to do it all themselves? We reached out to Dr. Vitti, I want to say in 2020, with the Skillman Foundation. We reached out to Dr. Vitti and tried to set up a meeting with him and various community development leaders like myself. And I'm still waiting on a meeting. They have a whole faith-based initiative because, of course, everybody wants to pacify pastors. And so we have faith-based initiatives because we believe this is where votes come from, and we believe this is where the majority of the community is engaged. So many churches are commuter churches where the kids who are attending that church don't live in the neighborhoods where the churches are. Mm-hmm. We are nested inside of a neighborhood on the east side of Detroit. I would love to have a partnership where the superintendent values our work. How about working with organizations like ours and saying, you know what, this youth needs more support. Can you support them? But that kind of imagination, that willingness to partner is just not there, and it's very disappointing to me. And the other thing I want to point out, students did not just lose in-person contacts. Mm-hmm. Children lost parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other caregivers who help stabilize the family. When you look at how our families are organized in Detroit, so many children are being cared for by non-relatives or relatives who are not, in the so-called immediate family, which we don't really subscribe to in the same way. Who's assessed how many of the children who had grief and loss experiences have had any kind of counseling, have any kind of bereavement support? When this happens in the suburbs, one kid gets killed in the suburbs, all you read about is we have all of these social workers going into the school to work with kids. They're not coming to Detroit to work with us in the same way. And it's chilling because Detroit lost more people per capita than any of the others cities in the state very early on. And so when you look at the per capita loss, you should understand the significance of that. You also know that right now we're in the midst of a housing crisis. Housing has become less affordable. You have more people being evicted, and that affects psychological state as well. I wish we viewed things with compassion and, put people first. And I'm just waiting for that to happen, and or for us to become very active at advocating for our own people.
Yeah, if you have stories that you want discussed on Authentically Detroit, you can hit us up on our socials at Authentically Detroit on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can email us at authenticallydetroit@gmail.com. We are sitting here with ECN manager and founder of the Something Relevant podcast, Daivon Reeder. Daivon, we want to learn a little bit about the Something Relevant podcast. And this is really, really monumental for us because there's this vision that, we could start a Detroit Eastside Engaged Podcast network. And the Something Relevant podcast is the first podcast that's going to be published on the network. Y'all give it up. Okay, that's enough. Daivon Reeder, thank you for coming on. Talk to us a little bit about Something Relevant. What is it about? How did it come about?
So I've been trying to figure out a way to voice some of the things that's in my head and some of the life lessons I've been learning. And normally when you put men behind a mic in a room, it turns into something.
Who, Lord? Exactly. Everybody don't need a microphone.
Right? So
females.
So So it's something total. It's the total opposite of that. It's a podcast of vulnerability. Where
Male vulnerability.
yeah, we're holding each other accountable. We having some self accountability. And it's a everyday issue for Black men conversation. So I'm joined with my mentor, Danielle Butler, a veteran, retired veteran, educator. Now he's over in the Taylor School District. He's the chief financial officer. And then I'm also joined with my mentee, Corey Hauser. He's a social media influencer. He actually just got a TV show deal from Tubi. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Y'all watch Tubi, Faith and Alex? Y'all be on Tubi.
I be on Tubi.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried it.
I have certain ones where I
gotta
be
try
like, it's
again
cool.
because we gotta support Chill on Corey.
I do. I want to. I need somebody to direct me to which shows to
You
watch.
gotta help us.
So
All right.
Because I haven't even
it
tried.
I
feels
need to help myself.
They're all. I feel like they're all the same. It's like the drug
Well,
dealers.
Phil Lewis
kill
wrote
each
an
other.
amazing column because it has become like this medium for, grassroots up and coming Black creatives to get their stuff out, right? And we know it's not perfect. I think that's a part of the appeal. Like it's, up and coming.
Some of those stories though are not stories that appeal to me. I'm going to be straight. Like I'm not interested in I'm not interested in some of the stories and the way that they are depicted.
Yeah.
It depresses me more than anything. I'm like, what the hell?
It reminds me growing up where you wanted to read like a Black novel, but they all were the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, my mom like, no, we're not reading that. But I say that to say we come from different backgrounds and we're different ages. So listening to the Something Relevant podcast, you'll see and hear like it doesn't matter what age you are, you're constantly growing, you're constantly learning. And I'm about to be 29 in the next few weeks. And this last year was just like it was confusing, right? Because to everybody, I'm old. I'm getting old. But to my mentors and you young, you at the peak of your life, and I'm like in that odd space, and I will ask my mentor, what's next? And that's how we started our first episode. What's next? What does getting old mean, right? With social media being around and I'm comparing myself to people that's my age who are doing so many great things, it's like I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, so the issue number one, stop comparing yourself to other people and define your own journey. As somebody who will be 60 in September, the fact that you're old is actually very hilarious to me.
Exactly.
But I do know that when I was 29, I was really excited about turning 30 because I thought now people will finally take me seriously. People would always be like, hey, little girl. And so I felt like I had, finally some clout or some substance that was going to be seen. I was really afraid of appearing old, but I think that right now we are even more youth driven than we were when I was young. And that may be contributing to those feelings.
Yeah, and that's something that we talk about, we work through. Even just sharing those different experiences, right? We talked about how things were, like the episode you guys will be getting a chance to hear. We talked about control. So things that we can't control and things that you thought as a kid, like, I'm going to be in control of this. And you realize, like, no, you can't control what's meant to happen. You just have to embrace that journey and embrace that process and learn. Like, learn my story is my story. And that person that I'm thinking, like, oh, I'm not doing enough, that's their story. And that's not for me to understand or to compare myself with.
Can I just give a little bit of advice, though?
Of course.
When you get to my age, a lot of people who are retiring or who have already retired, right? And there's two types of people who retire. There's more than two. Some cannot wait to get away from what they've done all of their lives or most of their working lives because what they've done, they made money doing it, but they didn't get personal satisfaction, right? And so that's one way of being. And so your whole focus when you get to a certain age is escaping whatever you were in. And then there's those people who do things that they enjoy and are meaningful. And those people tend to enjoy life longer, in my opinion. So I would say a lot of times we overvalue status, we overvalue money, and we undervalue purpose. If you are acting in your purpose, it doesn't matter what other people are doing because your purpose is going to reward you all along. I think we live inside this culture as Black Americans where we're encouraged to act on the purpose that was given to us. And those purposes, remember, the purpose of this nation is wealth building. The purpose of this nation is oppression and control. And so when you act according to the purpose, sometimes you're acting against the interest of your own families. And I say that because somebody should have said that to me.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time actually feeling like I was underachieving because I was not an attorney. I was not a judge. I was not a doctor. I was not living here. And I could not be happier with my life doing what I love. And I still love it. And I'm not trying to escape it. I'm just trying to say, okay, how long is too long? And I was really blessed 3 years ago to marry a man who's been in the same job for 40 years as working for the Charles Wright Museum. He never got rich doing it, but his soul got rich. His, who he is rich. And so we come together full of, joy of living and all of that stuff. And I don't think you can bottle that up. So I just encourage you to stop questioning what you're doing and then invest in what you're doing so that you can become great at it. Right?
Are y'all having deep conversations like that?
We are. And that's exactly what it is. That's what it's about, that mentorship and that guidance. Because, like, it's easy for me to read that, but for somebody who I admire and I look up to and somebody that I care about to say, like, stop. Like, it's okay. Where you at, it's fine. Like, and it's exactly those feelings that sometimes we don't get a chance to express as Black men. Like, I do feel like sometimes I feel like I should be here because my family needs me to be here. And it's like all that pressure. So that's the Something Relevant podcast. And when I walk home, when I leave out the door after recording, I'm like, this is way better than paying a stranger to tell my thoughts.
So Something Relevant is also a cathartic space.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's relevant. It's always relevant. It doesn't matter where you're going, where you are in life. Like, there's always something on the podcast for you. Like, this past weekend, we had it was a full house this weekend, but we talked about Detroit and is Detroit changing for us. I had a young guy on there. He's about to be a sophomore in high school, but I asked him, when you leave and go to college or whatever, do you plan on coming back? He's like, no, I don't want to be here. I feel like being here is going to bring me down. And we talked about that. And afterwards, he was like, maybe I will stay. Like, I can see the opportunities and the resources. But to him, he's never thought about that. He's like, I got to escape this or I'm going to.
That's the Detroit way, right? You have to escape.
That's ingrained.
Good life. Do you feel that way?
Have y'all been told that? Like,
or is that how you feel?
Time to get out.
Yes.
You work.
That's all my dad's saying. He's like, if you go to school, you can just go. So I agree. Like, if I do, that's why I was planning on going to college out of state. But now I'm like looking back and I'm looking at all the advantages of being here. But it's still like conflicting because like you're told that all the time. So subconsciously, no, I really don't want to be here right now.
Wow.
I feel like I have family members that's been leaving Detroit for 40 years. They like, it's nothing here. And then they get depressed because of the changes that they see. They're like, oh, like downtown. I remember my grandma, like Hudson's downtown has been torn down for like so many years. And she just, every time we go downtown, she'd be so depressed seeing it because those are her memories. That's what she did when she used to stay downtown. Mm-hmm. She went there. So for some people, it's nothing here, but I always look at the opportunities. And if you have
That's
to be
good.
The change that you want to see.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's really good. And I hope Governor Whitmer, if she listens to this podcast, hears this because she has commissioned a task force or some sort of commission to look at why young people and talent is leaving, right? And I think part of the issue is a narrative issue. What we tell ourselves and what we've been told about, the city of Detroit and the, sort of the marginal experiences some of us have had in the city of Detroit. I live, and I know this, and I live a completely different kind of Detroit experience than a lot of Detroiters, right? But a lot of folks aren't exposed to the kind of Detroit experience that I live. And so I think that we have to be way more nuanced when we talk about talent retention and thinking about being here and staying here, and like have this consciousness that you have faith in, like, yo, if there's something that isn't here, I can bring that change. I can be that agent because this is a city that raised me, right? And so I
think it's important for us as we do youth programming to also help connect young people to opportunities so they can see people who are pursuing opportunities and doing very well here. The reality is that if you really look not just at the city of Detroit, but in the Metro Detroit area, we still have a more educated, more successful Black middle class than most places in the nation.
That's facts.
Larger, okay?
That's facts.
If you look at the number of people who function at a certain level. And so we're always, the way the media portrays it, it downplays certain things that are true. For example, if you go to the University of Michigan, Michigan State University, or any other flagship university in the state of Michigan, you will see more Black American students in those schools than you will in many other states. If you go to the University of Southern California, you're going to see a lot of students who are not Black American. If you go out east, you're going to see a lot of African immigrant students. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the reality is Black people are more likely to have upward mobility here than many other places. That said, it's at risk. But I think if you really look at it, the other thing I think, though, we have to really think of quality of life as being places that you enjoy yourself, have fun. And Detroit doesn't do a very good job of delivering on that for young Blacks.
Yeah.
I believe the social scene that's been invested in has been attracted to young white people intentionally so that we can attract them here. And we need to do more. Where are the clubs that people can go to where it's really fun? And, you know, it seems like I'm hearing from young people, and I even felt this way when I was young, that there's a shortage of social outlets that were really enjoyable. Yeah. And so if we invested in that and help young people create their own, I think it would be better. What do you think?
I agree. I also feel like we should expose young Black children to a Detroit that's outside of their neighborhoods. Like, go to a museum, go downtown, go by the water, go to the gardens, go see things. Like, just because your neighborhood is bad doesn't mean that the city is bad.
Yeah. I remember taking some YOE back when YOE was still here at ECN, taking some YOE students to Greektown, right? And we went to Pizzapopolis, and it was transitioning from day to night. So all of the lights and stuff, and the strung lights on Monroe Street was on, and it was a scene,
which is beautiful. Really,
they had never seen it. It was amazing.
We talked about that with the youth in the summer youth employment program, and talking about how they almost are like pushed out of downtown, and they don't even know what the new downtown look like.
Well, let me say this: that's true, but at the same time,
I'm seeing us down there.
When I'm downtown, I see lots of young Black kids, and the other thing is the Riverwalk. Oh my goodness,
we reclaimed that mug in the pandemic.
So I took some young people when I was at the Youth Development Commission. I took my young people for the summer youth program downtown. We started at the Hard Rock Cafe. We walked over to Hart Plaza. We looked at the Gateway to Freedom. We walked down to, all the way down the Riverwalk. And it was really an enriching experience where people were feeling connected. We have to let people know it's your downtown.
It's your city.
It's your tax dollars. Your parents' tax dollars are paying for this. And nobody belongs more than you. Now, I agree that there are efforts to push people out, but I think we have to push back.
I think, so what I was hearing most is the police make them feel like they can't be down there, or the walking up, what you doing, where you going? It's like, do I want to be down there? And then it's like, it's nothing for us to do. We're not old enough to drink. We're not old enough to club. So, like, how do they have a place? And one of the ideas that kind of came to life was like, what if they came up with somewhere where we can hang out like a teen club, and we can have a computer lab and resources and things like that. And somebody was like, that's what the Y is. And I'm like,
it ain't the Y.
It ain't really,
We had China Club over on East Warren. That was the teen club, and it used to be lit.
But
it's somewhere safe and fun.
But we could actually have some teen club-like activities here on
Club
the
Blue
weekend,
used to
right?
do that too.
We could open up on Saturdays for once a month or something like that and let teens come, because when my children were teenagers, they always went to teen night at the Y and things like that, because it's important that people have access to those types of experiences that we can help create. When I was at Vanguard Community Development Corporation, we had monthly parties, a thing at the spot, and they were really hot. Lots of fun. People did spoken word. They just hung out. We had good music, and it was a way for people to congregate. We never had one fight. We never had one incident where people felt unsafe, because the young people who were part of our program actually controlled the space. And they set the rules, and it's like, when you come here, you better act a certain way.
Yeah.
And people did. It was great. They invited their friends. We have to create that for young people. I think you're right about the police. I think maybe we need to go down there with young people to see how the police are. I can say that the Riverwalk is less policed than Campus Martius is.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's a Campus Martius experience. The DeQuinder cut
And
is
that
less policed.
that space near DTE is heavily secure too. They start kicking folks out. All right, Daivon, really quickly introduce something relevant to the Authentically Detroit listeners.
What's up, Detroit? This is Daivon Reeder from the Something Relevant Podcast. Check us out. If you just need some advice, you want to listen, you need some words of wisdom, some gems, check us out. This episode that you're about to hear is about control, self-control, control of others, and just doing everything in your control to be the best you.
You know, before we leave, I do want to hear from Faith and Alex about their experiences at the DIA a couple weeks ago, because we actually went on a royal tour of the Detroit Institute of Arts with Detroit's own historian, Jamon Jordan. And we talked about things and looked at the Black cultural lens from a real ancient historical perspective. How did you receive that information?
It was very exciting to me just because one of the things that I took away was some of the customs that are in Black culture stem from African culture. Like he was saying how, you know, they have these thrones that they put on the ground to channel their ancestors. And then, like, what do we do? Like, when we have a drink, you pour it on the ground for your dead ancestors or your dead homies. So it was just an exciting experience. Also, seeing the cultural clothing, I was like, yeah, at my wedding, I'm going to wear something like that.
Oh, that wedding clothing was hot, wasn't it?
It was beautiful.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Alex, what do you think? What was it like for you?
I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I think my experience was really similar to Faith's, because the thing that stood out to me the most was how everything that I'm looking at is like, it's replicated now. I see it around me. I can see it on TV and things like that. It's just not replicated as African culture. It's replicated as something that it's not, or something that's easily, I guess, digested for media.
You know, I think that we were raised in our society, we're almost raised to believe that there is no African culture. That Africa is this great big desert where nobody has enough food, and the people were very primitive and didn't create anything. And, you know, that's white supremacy at its finest, right? To rob us of our artifacts, because I think we had that conversation when we first got there, that some of these artifacts, they didn't come by, nobody purchased these artifacts, right? They were taken by colonial powers and controlled by colonial people, and now on loan to the DIA, in the lower level of the DIA, by the way. And I think Jamon was also talking about the fact that our exhibits are always in the lower level, in places that are less central than the exhibits of Western culture. And so when you think about that, that was a lot to me. But also that these artifacts were really taken, and some people see it as even sacrilege for us to view them. But I think it's important, we had that discussion, right, that we view them. What are your thoughts about that whole idea of artifacts that you purchase or are passed down by your culture and those that are taken by another culture?
When I have my own home, I do plan on purchasing artifacts just because I want something of my own culture. But I think when we went to go view the things in the DIA, I think we went to learn, and we went with respect. I think it was me and Charles were kind of talking about how sad it was, just because it's like a mummified figure, and you had to dig in the ground and disrupt somebody's living, well, their resting place. For you to retrieve that it was sad, but we went in respect, and we learned about them and where they came from.
Absolutely. It was a very respectful visit. Did you have the same experience, Alex, or you have the same thoughts, or anything different?
It was just conflicting, because it was interesting to be there, but the more that you all talked about the culture and how we really weren't supposed to be seeing some of the stuff, it was like, it's nice to see, it's nice to know, but it's sad that we can only get access to it through a place where it's disrespected.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Daivon, your thoughts?
That duality. That's good. Go ahead.
I wasn't even aware of the placement of most of our exhibits and things. And I just was in Chicago, and I went to the museum there. And as soon as you got in there, the European Kings is right at the door. but you had to go downstairs around the corner to go and see the Egyptian mummies and all that. And that kind of, I'm like, wow, that's crazy because that really is true. And then I can agree with Alex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's conflicting to me because it's like, how did this get here? And people are just coming and viewing these things, and we openly know that they stole these things and killed people for these things, and they pillaged these communities and these villages to get these things that we're paying for. That's those people from that area are never getting any type of reparation, any funds, and we're making all this money on stolen property.
You know, I read at the very beginning of this year, late last year, I read this book, The Ghost of King Leopold.
Ooh.
And The Ghost of King Leopold outlined the really genocidal behavior of King Leopold in the Congo. And so if you go to Brussels right now, he was in...
they got
they
statues
have
all
and all of this.
listen.
And they were literally raiding empires of African people, befriending them. That when they landed on the shores of the Congo in West Africa, by the River Nile, they didn't know how to get around. And so these people showed them around. They would do things like punish children by cutting off their hands, and punishing people who didn't pick things fast enough for them by cutting off their hands, and then sometimes decorate their front yards with their hands. I mean, the stuff I was reading was grotesque. Mm-hmm. And over 10 million African people in the Congo were killed by King Leopold. We don't even learn that in our history books.
I only learned it in 2019 because I went to Brussels.
Yeah. And so you couldn't get me to step foot on that soil because they repulsed me, right?
Yeah.
But then, they talked about this is in the Congo, and we had similar types of things happening in other nations across the world. And I learned about some Black men who were amazing people in the 19th century who were opposing this and fighting it. And it's like, wow, these are heroes we don't even learn about in history books. But I think for me, going to the museum, it keeps me in mind that I have this dual citizenship, right? I'm Black and American. Mm-hmm. And that Black part of me is not it does not share a citizenship with the white people who did this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is my institution. I have the right to view it. Our tax dollars pay for it, and I have the right to view it just like anybody else. I have artifacts. I want to have more artifacts because when you walk in my home, I don't want anybody to ever question who lives there. But it's sobering for me as well. And I thought Jamon Jordan did an outstanding job. I just wish we had another time. Would you go back if we had more time to learn more?
Of course.
I would definitely go back.
Yeah. So I really want to maybe arrange something for all of our young people to go before the summer is out. He's such an amazing tour guide.
Yeah.
And just brings so much passion to learn. And he is truly a Detroit treasure.
I remember the retreat, our staff retreat, and I lived right there. And I'm like, who knew that history was right outside my house? I go home like telling my girlfriend, like, did you know? Like, I'm telling her all the facts. I'm like, this is right here. It's crazy.
Each one teach one.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I want everybody to keep it locked because the Something Relevant podcast, founded and hosted by Daivon Reeder, is up next.
Get up, Corey. What's up, man? Welcome to the Something Relevant podcast, a.k.a. Conversations from the Black Couch in my living room. I'm here with my boy, who's halfway here.
Halfway here. I had a fun night. It's Corey, though. I'm here. I'm alive.
And it's Damian L. Butler.
What was
so horrible?
Because the L is very important.
The dramatic pause.
If you Google Damian Butler, you'll get Biggie's best friend. I didn't grow up with Biggie. Damian L. Butler is me, and I'm the first one on Google.
You are from the East Coast, though.
I am from New York, but I'm from Queens. I'm not from Brooklyn. I didn't grow up in Bed-Stuy. I didn't know Biggie. So Damian L. Butler is important because Damian Butler, again, I said, is a white banker and a pilot from Australia. That's not me.
He's Googled himself a few times.
You have?
I do it all the time. But I'm Daivon Reeder, kid, whatever you call me as. But today we talking about control, man. We talking about everything you can control, things you can't control, and self-control. Control of other people. Let's kick this off. Corey, what you could have did last night to control yourself a little better?
Man, I could have gave myself a limit.
A limit?
Yeah, but I don't know though. That wasn't my intention.
You ain't had no self-control last night.
I for sure didn't have self-control last
Yeah.
night.
Has there ever been a time, Butler, where you like, dang, I could have controlled myself better,
It's all the time.
Has there ever been a time where you was like, man, forget self-control?
Yeah. There's a lot of times like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just having fun. I'll deal with whatever comes from it. And you just, most of the times it works out well, but there are a few times like, damn, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I don't live with a lot of regrets, but there's some decisions I just won't make anymore.
Like, you learn from it. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Big time.
You don't have no regrets?
Yeah, I don't have any regrets. There are stupid things that I've done that
you got some 2020 like, dang, if I can go back, I won't do this no more.
Hell
Nah,
yeah.
I don't see. Sometimes people say not having a regret is arrogant or whatever, but I don't have any regrets. I've made some stupid mistakes. I will admit to that, but I don't regret a whole lot.
I think for me, things I can control, it's a lot of things I'd be like, dang, I could have did better. I should have did that. Or I need to, like, go back and be like, nah, let's not do that this time. What's one thing, like, you thought, like, growing up, like, oh, I'm going to be able to control this, and you can control it? Like, you realize, like, damn, I really don't have no control over this.
Like a specific time?
It don't have to be a time, it's a thing or something like that. Like, something you thought, like, oh, I'm going to always have control of this. Like, you know, as kids, we so naive to, like, the real world.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. I mean, to an extent, I still feel like I might be naive to the world because I thought that I was going to have, full control over, like, the path that I was taking. So any time that I deviated from that path, I feel like, until I got a hold of it, I feel like I lost control.
Wait,
do I need to break that down?
Yeah.
So you got so you map out your life when you're younger. You know, I'm gonna
I
go to
want to
school.
be this when I grow up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna graduate high school. I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna graduate college. I'm gonna get this corporate job. I'm gonna have kids. I'm gonna a family. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So every time that I deviate further from that path, like for a while, I feel like I was losing control of my own life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. What about you?
My time. It's just as you get older and you have more responsibilities, your time isn't yours. And like as you move around, it's just like in the corporate sense, you have to make sure you make time for other people, so that you can get things done and you know the things you have to do for them, and then this stuff just comes out of nowhere. You can't control. No one wants to be in an accident. Yeah. So, you know, you just can't control that.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like I can control, like, I always thought, like, I'm going to be in control of my life, when really you're not in control of your life. I think, like, life is, like, a whole bunch of reacting.
Yeah,
you're always reacting to something.
You can plan for stuff, but you got to...
Murphy's Law, man.
You got to be able to adapt.
Murphy's Law, though. Like, if something go wrong, it's going to go wrong.
That's true, but you also have to plan. You have to have... It's a skill set. You have to be able to adapt.
Ooh. Okay. But that's almost like having control, though.
That's not... No, because you can't really control what you're adapting to.
Can't control what you adapt to. Well, yeah, okay. You like this? That's a whole nother can of worms, but
It's like, to me, it's like you reacting like something happened, so now I got to respond. And I think it's like a constant responding to everything. Like, it's always my reaction to an action. It's never like, oh, I initiated it. Well, sometimes, but for the most part, like, I'm always responding to something.
Okay.
But a response and a reaction are two different things.
I'm always reacting to something.
Sometimes. See, the difference for me, a reaction is something that happens real quick. A response is something that you can have more control over.
Yeah.
You can, you know how, you know, a knee-jerk reaction.
But that goes back into... What's your self-control? What level would you put your self-control on? Like, if you had to rate yourself from 1 to 10.
An 8.911.
What? Why the 1-1?
Jesus Christ.
Because, I mean, I think I'm disciplined in a lot of areas, but there's some things that I just do. It's like, it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, I'm a man that's made some mistakes. And I didn't plan on making those mistakes, but it was just like, oh, it was just good in the moment, or the drink was, you know what, it's one more drink, and I just take that one more, like, and then, or I'm gonna eat this one more thing, or I'm just go over this, I'm gonna go to this party for 2 hours, and you end up saying 4 hours, and you should have left, and now it's just like, I know what I have plans to do, but being able to, you know, so that, you know, 8.9, I'm
that
one
if that you staying too long at a party.
Yeah.
Okay, Corey, what's yours? What's your 5?
5.
Wow.
5. I've never mastered the art of adapting to change properly. I hate change.
Change happens. Change is natural.
Of course, I know, but I really like my norms, and I like my norms so much that I hold on to things, and oftentimes I don't want things to change so that I don't have to come up with a plan B in case things change. And I haven't mastered that. That's something I'm still learning.
Corey be making this podcast stuff really easy because, like, if you don't have change, how do you expect to grow?
You can't.
That's what I'm saying. So why don't you want to grow? Don't you want to be like...
I absolutely want to grow. Change is like, I haven't, my entire life, every time that I go through a major change, I notice that there's this thing I go through mentally where I gotta wrap my head around the fact that things aren't the same.
Is mind blowing every time?
Depending on how big the change is, yeah.
I would put mine at a 5 because I have times where I'll be like, I know in my head like maybe I shouldn't do this or maybe this is a bad idea, but it's like I'm not here for a long time. I'm gonna do it anyways. I don't care. And that could be the same thing you saying, like over like indulging in something like, oh, I'm gonna have one more drink or I'm gonna stay out just 1 more hour, and then it ended up being like, man, you know what? I'm never gonna be able to do this again, and I'm staying out all night. Or like, let's go here. Who cares? I'm gonna make this money back. Let me just spend this money.
That's true.
Right?
But the difference is it takes time. Y'all have less people depending on y'all, and that's
dead voice in, man.
I mean, but that's what it comes down to. You know, there are people.
I got a dog dependent on me, so
that's cool. I got 3. I got 2 lives, you know what I'm saying? 2 human beings that if I don't go to work and make the money I'm supposed to make, they don't get to go to college. They don't eat. You know, they don't get the things. I mean, it comes down to when you have small children, you got to make some changes. But that's part of life and growing. Yeah. So that's why I look at it differently. Now, there's sometimes, as my children are now getting to be adults, and they depend on me less and less.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what decisions I'm going to make in the next couple of. You know, if I'm usually driving, so I can't drink as much. I got to drink a little bit more today because I ain't driving nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
which is really cool. Like, you're really controlled because, like, I think I told Corey this, but we was at the Pistons game, and I live right down the street from the stadium. So I'm in the game going crazy. I'm throwing them back. I'm like, bro, you want another one? I'm like, go get another one. Walk me to get another one. We even got drinks before the game. And I'm like, bro, halfway through the third quarter, I'm like, bro, I'm drunk. And I'm looking over at him. He's sober. He like, I gotta drive home. I got 1 drink. I'm like, man, just have a drink with me. Have a drink. And he was like, I gotta drive home. I got 1 drink. He said like 3 or 4 times to me. And I guess it's self-control, but also a little bit of peer pressure. But like, if I'm with my homeboys, you only gotta ask me 2 or 3 times. I'm like, come on. But I'm also like, drink. Because like, we celebrating or we having a good time. But that is something that you're really good at. What about controlling others? Like Corey right now, he's fighting for his life. So how could you control others, Corey? Like to put you in different situations and make you.
That's funny. You started with me. I was having a conversation the other day about the concept of manipulation. I think that control and manipulation and power kind of run hand in hand with each other. And what I mean by that is. Oftentimes, when you have control over others, you also have the skill of manipulation.
Do you think you got that skill?
Mastered. Yeah. I hate to say it, but
you manipulate people.
Wait a minute, hold on. You don't have self-control, but you've mastered manipulation.
That's crazy.
Manipulation is a
that's crazy skill. Work though. If you say it again, because you can't control yourself, but you know how to control other people.
Absolutely.
That's crazy work.
It's a survival skill.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you.
Where you learn that at? In the tough streets of Belleville?
In the tough streets of Belleville. No, life in general. Conversations, situations that I've ended up in. Sometimes the concept of manipulation comes into play. And manipulation it has a negative connotation to it, but sometimes you got to look at manipulation for its like textbook definition. You know
what is it?
I mean, we can pull out, your textbook.
You're supposed to know it.
Your textbook definition doesn't have any connotations.
But
to
you
it.
referencing it, you should know it.
I should know the definition. Okay.
But you, I
get what he's saying, but I don't agree.
But I taught you this.
What? Manipulating people?
Manipulation. We didn't call it manipulation.
It's managing others' expectations.
No, by definition. In the Army, of course, I stole the Army's definition, but we talk about, command and control, the science of command and the art of control. The art of control.
That's different though, because
that's a good side of manipulation.
I think if you're manipulating people, that's you're manipulating them for ill will or ill intent or to get your way or
because you hold on to that negative connotation.
So it's not.
I gotta know the textbook.
Textbook definition.
Because why would I manipulate you any other way besides wanting to get my way?
It's motivation. Motivation is manipulation.
That's not. Is it though?
Jesus Christ!
It makes you. How am I? What do I need to do for you to help you get what I want?
I hear you, sir. Read the definition, Corey.
All right.
Read the definition, please, loud.
Manipulation is the exercise of harmful influence over others. People who manipulate others attack their mental and emotional sides to get what they want. The person doing the manipulating, called the manipulator, seeks to create an imbalance of power. You taking advantage of people.
Okay.
Because you know how to press their buttons and you know what gets them motivated, you know what moves them. So if I'm like, Corey, look, there's a TV deal over here, but bro, you got to do this first. I'm manipulating him. Because I know what he wants. I know his goals. I know his end plan. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's not manipulating, because what are you doing for personal gain?
You don't know what I want you to do yet.
I see. What was the original question here? Because I don't want to.
It's about control.
The original question that led us to talk about manipulation.
The original question is, how do you control? How do you feel about control when it comes to other people? How are you managing your control, and what things can you control when it comes to other people and putting you in situations and getting where you need to be?
You want me to re-answer the question? I was just
you asked
to say it again.
Right.
You looked at me like I had to respond.
We gotta remind that Corey he's still halfway here.
I had a hell of a night.
He had a good night, but
I don't know if I had a good night because I don't remember.
Which is another thing. Control, like my thing. If I say, "Come on, let's go shot for shot," and you know you can't hang, why do it?
Because peer pressure.
Peer pressure. That's control. That's control of other people.
But I mean, it is. That's true. But it still comes down to part of the control comes down to pride too. It's like I have to manipulate this situation so I look better, or I don't want to be manipulated, so I'm not going in the situation. And there's so many things that go into the control.
So, sir, have you ever been controlled by your partner? Or your kids?
I wouldn't say control, but they impact or they influence a lot of decisions that I make.
You ever tried to control your kid? Well, of course. How does that happen when you controlled your kids? How do they respond?
I mean, it's usually, you do this, you get that. Or you're not allowed to do this. And I remember having a conversation a few years back with my daughter about having blue hair. I just want blue highlights. Blue hair, we're not having blue hair. No blue hair.
Why?
Because why? Why do you need blue hair?
Why not? Why she can't express herself? What is blue hair? How does that hurt anybody?
It doesn't.
It hurts the eyes.
It doesn't fit the standard.
It hurts the eyes.
There's an expectation, right? And then looking back at it, it was a little. I was.
Can she have blue hair now?
Well, she's grown now, so she can do whatever she wants.
Has she done it?
No, and that's the thing. She hasn't had a desire to have blue hair. Now that you can do it, you can go buy the dye, you can do whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, you got blue hair? Okay, cool. She understands that there's a standard and expectation of the environment and society that we live in. So, as a parent,
so you controlling her to help her and protect her.
And so we're trying to create a standard and an expectation, and this is what you need to do to go to the next level to be successful, boom, 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 all that kind of stuff.
So blue hair is not a level of success.
in the environment that we were in, no.
Blue hair is not a level of success.
Now, if you're in a space, if you're in a space where blue hair is, no one cares. No one cares.
Corey, have you ever tried to control your partner?
Yeah.
Wait.
You said children, not partner. That's a difference.
I said both for you. We don't have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because
your partner. Have you ever controlled your partner?
No, because that's
you never told your wife what to do.
My wife has been grown since the day I met her, and there's no relationship. And I say this with a room full of people. No relationship is going to be successful when you tell a woman or a woman tries to tell a man, you are not going to do this, you can't do it, because somebody's going to be unhappy. And then when they sneak out and do it, now they're sneaking, going behind your back because they're doing what they told you they were going to do in the first place.
You married.
So you create yourself.
Married. You gotta listen. That's
you
law.
won't.
I gotta listen.
You won't get married if that's going to be. If that's going to be.
Never. So have your wife ever did something that you didn't like and you like no?
Yeah.
That's control.
And how'd you do it? How you say no?
We either. I mean, that's where disagreements and arguments come from, or you be like, we're not doing that anymore, and then you move on and you don't do it again.
And that little thing, I'm learning, or I learned that arguments are not like problems. Like a disagreement is not a problem.
People having a different view of the world.
Yeah, like a disagreement don't mean we beefing.
It's a learning experience.
It's just a disagreement. Yeah.
So it opens your eyes to different, perspectives.
I don't agree. I don't believe that you don't like. Your wife always been like, okay, I'm not going to do what you don't want me to do, or you had to back down and be like, all right, whatever.
I mean, we go back and forth, but we kind of live for tomorrow too. We're not living for right now.
I'm saying in the moment, if you like, I don't want you to do this. You either something has like, what's the compromise?
But that's it. Compromise.
What is it? What's
it
the like? You let it go, or like?
We had a conversation recently about like she's getting ready to go on a girls' trip.
Bro. He trying to.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
You gonna drop some gems, bro. Don't give me that.
So her thing is, you can't go away for I don't like it when you're gone. Like when I go on a trip or whatever, she don't like when I'm gone. Okay, I got it. But she about to go on a girls' trip. Like, time out. Hold up. You just said that I can't go anywhere because you don't like it when I'm gone, but you planning another, not the first one, another one.
I see what's happening here.
So you get to go and do whatever you want to do, but now you want to go with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, we're not doing that. I don't travel as much, but at the same time,
you always out of town, bro.
But I'm always out of town with my wife.
Okay, so you saying you don't dolo travel?
I don't.
You call him.
I just went dolo, but
you call him. I'm on the pyramids, bro. I'm out of town. I just got off a flight. I'm in Germany. Like, bro, where are you? Like, why are you never home? He's always somewhere.
That's Corey.
That's you.
No, I know
him too. Him. It was one period for like.
Okay, if I'm going 9 times out of 10, I'm with my wife.
Okay, I'll take pandemic, bro. Dog was every weekend somewhere new. I'm about to go to LA. I remember that one time, bro got mentioned by some comedian on Instagram.
D. Ray Davis.
And that night, Dog was in California at his show. I'm like, how, bro?
Yeah, I for sure went.
Man, it's just the life I live, bro. It's the pandemic.
But here's the thing: are you married? Were you married in a pandemic?
You're not married now.
I'm just going back. I got it. I understand I'm married now.
I was single for.
So that there's a lot of difference in controlling other people. I mean, you can try to, so we've determined that manipulation is bad. There's no positive side to manipulation.
I still inherently disagree with that. I read the definition, but I don't think that manipulation is always a bad thing.
Bro, you can influence somebody, but you can't manipulate.
That's a word I was waiting to use.
You cannot manipulate people, bro.
And when it's just you can do things differently.
Yeah,
that's all. And I'm not saying that marriage is a bad thing or you should whatever. But
what about you, Corey? You ever manipulated your partner?
Yeah. I've been down that route.
Why the side? It's a long drive back home, bro.
I've been in situations where I've been manipulated and I did some manipulation. Absolutely.
Sorry, I said manipulated. More so control. Control, yeah.
Control. I hate that concept in the realm of relationships.
Why?
The control thing. Because I feel like that's when you start entering a dominant submissive conversation. And in a relationship, I do think that there has to be one that outweighs the other. But like, have I tried?
What do you mean one that outweighs the other?
There's always gonna be one that's more dominant and one that's more submissive. It's like that 50-50 thing.
It's always a thing.
Yeah, I've never not seen it be a thing. Like, I've observed relationships and you can just tell.
I disagree. Would you agree with that?
I agree. I mean,
it shifts.
That's what I would say. So it goes back and forth.
I guess it depends on the
I
topic
think, like,
at
for
hand.
me, like, sometimes my girl got to say so. Like, that's what it is. And sometimes it's like, no, like, I'm in charge. Like, this is what it is. Simple as that. But, like, I think it goes back and forth. It's never like I want to always. Me personally, I don't want to be in a relationship like that where I'm always. Because when it comes to, like.
Same.
Like, petty stuff, like picking food, like that, I know it's small.
But it goes.
I don't always want to be in charge of that. Because.
But look, hear me out. Okay, manipulation, positive.
Control. No, why are you going back there,
listen,
bro?
Because I got a positive one.
There's
now that
no
you bring that up,
positive
right?
way, bro.
So you in the car with your girl, and y'all can't figure out what y'all want to eat. So you know what you do? You ask your girl, guess where we going to eat? And whatever she says, that's where you go. That's where you go. That's manipulation, but it's not a bad thing.
That's mind control.
You had no idea where you was going till she said.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that.
I've done it.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. That's fire.
You just gotta
To me,
make sure
though,
she
I
don't
don't
say no
wanna
Eddie
pick,
V's
bro,
or
'cause I'm
something. If it's an Applebee's type of budget,
Yeah.
But yeah, that
I
works.
name like 5 things and it'd be like, no, I'm not in the mood for that. No. And then we finally get to the first thing I name. And it's like, oh yeah, actually, let's go there. So to me, that'd be like, I don't want to be in control of those type of decisions. I also don't like being in control of like the money. Like I don't want to be in control of money. That's never been a thing for me. Like I don't care. I'll make all the money in the world and bring it back home and you can handle it. I don't care about that.
That's actually the model that my grandfather taught my father, who talked about it so much for me. But being in the relationship the way my father lived his life, it wasn't. He didn't really fulfill that. But that's pretty much how I do it too. Go ahead. As long these are things I'm gonna take care of. These are taken care of. The mortgage, the lights, this, that, everything else. If you don't want to go grocery shopping, cool. We're not gonna go shopping. We'll go out to eat.
Nah.
We'll go. You want to go out to eat? I have grown children now, so I don't have to go.
They go cook. We ain't going out.
You gonna spend the bag at the grocery store. We gonna
cook this.
We gonna cook this.
So and to answer my own question, as far as control, I try not to be controlling. It's hard sometimes though, especially in the partnership. Like we're in a relationship, it's really hard because it's like, how do you have that balance of like boundaries, but also not being controlling? Like I don't have most controlling issues like most men. When it comes to like going out and things like, I don't care about that. I don't care if my girlfriend go out or she hang out or anything like that. Who there? I need to know. Like, and then it ain't like give me it's like who there? It's safety, but it's also like who you about to be around, okay? What's going on here? Do I need to pull up too? Like, but I don't really be caring because I trust her. So my thing be like. Like clothes, I really don't like certain like fits, bro. I can't get jiggy with certain fits.
You don't like
bro.
Rainbow jumpsuits with cleavage on?
All right, bro. I told you something that was personal, bro.
What else? What's personal about it? We ain't got to talk about where it came from.
So look, I try to control. I try to control my family members a lot. My sister, oh my god, I try to control her a lot because I hate when she makes stupid decisions because I gotta clean up the mess.
That makes sense.
That's what I hate. But my mom, she will wear the craziest fits. So my mom will wear this jumper, and she had a little cleavage showing. And her response was this: "It's my birthday." But look, I wasn't even mad about that. It was the color combo, bro. It was like a pink cotton candy tie dye. Like I was pissed. I'm like, bro, are you serious, bro? Like. I look past the cleavage. Like, I'm like, okay, you a grown woman. It's your birthday, whatever. But the color combo was crazy. So I was pissed. I'm like, bro.
Wait, the color combo pissed you off, not the cleavage?
I'm gonna say. So,
No, it didn't.
So,
She a grown woman. You are like I'm not naive to the fact that my mom is a grown woman who has needs.
Now, first
I
of
know
all,
how it got
wait,
here. The stock didn't
let's
leave
be
me here.
clear. I didn't say anything about your mom.
you
wearing
going,
anything.
You going too far
did.
that way.
I'm just saying. I know my mom is grown. She's a woman. She's an adult. I know that the stork didn't bring me here, so I don't care about that. My thing is the color combo was just embarrassing to me. I'm like, bro,
The color combo.
I want to know where she got the fit from,
bro.
It can be nothing besides the beauty supply fit, and that pissed me off because like, bro,
You wore Nike Tech to the club.
I wear Nike Techs everywhere sometimes.
I got a video of you. You pulled up like I had that shit on.
What I have on?
Was
You
it
had
clean? Was it
no.
fresh?
Yes,
I got the video.
It was the black Nike Tech with the I had the shiesty mask on.
Oh my
rolled
god,
up.
we went to the club.
Crazy.
Like,
Lineup was crazy. Beard looked crazy. Say it
Now
didn't.
I'm gonna pull the
Say,
video.
pull it up. Say the beard didn't look crazy.
I don't
It was
remember what your
heat.
haircut
Pull
was.
it up.
That was November of
You're gonna be like,
2021.
pull it up. It was during the pandemic too, so
Oh
I
my
wasn't
God.
going nowhere spectacular.
We
Like,
went to Society.
No, that's cap.
I swear we went to Society,
Cap.
bro.
We was at the well, bro. That is cap. Pull it up. He's
snap.
capping.
We
bro.
started at the well.
He is capping.
We went to Society.
These are definitely control issues.
Control, yeah.
When you trying to control what another person wears somewhere.
He got control issues. He got manipulation issues though. His is different. He want to manipulate people.
But why?
Sometimes I truly don't think that. Maybe that's a problem that I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think manipulation is to an extent. It's just a tactic. It's a tactic. I mean, when I interview people for my show, sometimes I manipulate them to say things I want.
Yeah,
them
but
to
you
say.
gotta think about how manipulation is used. Bro, it's always used with ill will. It's never like pure intentions.
Religion. So
no, that's not.
Well, I mean, religion can get into mind control.
But
absolutely.
it's also about having a bigger purpose and faith in something bigger than you.
Yeah, they gave you something to believe in so that they can control you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a man of God myself, but
So what are you
sometimes,
talking about, bro?
sometimes, I can get straight into it. No, I think that religion is structured. Is structured to have control over large populations of people.
That's not true. I think that people use it in an evil way to manipulate people. But religion is not about control. It's about having something bigger than you. About having basic values and morals, bro. Like, yeah, do people... Yeah.
So you can be a good person. You can be a good person without religion. You just said that to me.
Can you?
Yes. If you take religion out of everything, you can still be a good person. But
yes.
Religion is the way that religion is structured. It's structured to control people by
Or
the
is it
billions.
the practice of religion?
Thou shalt not kill.
Well,
not only is it illegal, but it's
that's a bad
it's
example, bro. You
not.
shouldn't kill people, bro.
You
Like
shouldn't
that's
kill people. But now they put it. They put the 10 Commandments in place. I'm gonna just use Christianity as an example because that's the religion that I know. That's put in place, and now you looking at it like it's illegal. But yeah, I might go to hell if I kill somebody, so I'm not gonna do that. Now you got 1 billion people in their heads. I'm not gonna kill him, even though I don't like him, because I was told that that's against my religion. That's power. That's control. You bring everybody to a certain building every Sunday. That's control.
That's not control,
It's
bro.
control
That's
to me.
influence, bro.
Influence and power and control are all
But
synonymous. They run
I
parallel with
think
each other.
also it's nothing wrong with having control, bro. It's nothing wrong with having control. It's nothing wrong with being controlled sometimes.
So what you do with it?
Yeah, it's what you do with it. Like I don't mind. Again, I don't mind my girlfriend having control over me sometimes. I don't mind that. Like when people be like, "Oh, you whip." No, it ain't whip. I just respect her, and I know that I can trust her to have control and not abuse it. And the same vice versa. Like I want to have control and let you know I'm not gonna abuse it. Not gonna like because sometimes we need control.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of our ideas are not the best, so we need someone else to kind of influence or to kind of I don't know, impact. What's the word I'm looking for?
So
Just offer a second opinion so we can hear something else besides our own thoughts.
What was the dress code for the? What was the dress code for the club?
what was it?
You really had one on, bro.
I didn't know. I never been there before. Oh no, we at the well. We at the well.
We started at the well and we went.
No
Look.
cap, we was at the well. Look, we are at the well.
Oh shit.
We're at the well. We're at the well. What is that about? We're at the well.
We started at the well. But we
I
went to
wore my
Society.
Nike Tech to the well because It was the pandemic. That was the
We went to the club.
And it was raining that night. I had the black Nike off the black Timberland boots with the black shiesty mask rolled up over my head. Look at the head. Look at the. Show him this one. Show him this one. No, show him this one. Hold on.
No, whoa, don't do that.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that one. Where'd it go?
See, that's why I told you don't X out.
Man, I'm gonna show you. Right here. Show him. Look at the lineup. The lineup is crazy, y'all. Beard is crazy. Like, come on, man. That was fire.
Nike Tech to the club, bro.
Bro, I didn't know we were even going.
I need to control your fits from now on. If you ever ask me to go out, like, what you wearing though?
I didn't know we was going. Went to the well, bro.
Bro, I had some shit on that day. Like I had some brand new boots on. Yeah, I was clean. He came out looking like.
So there was an expectation.
Bro, that's control.
There's a standard.
Think about that too. That's control. Clubs try to control people's behavior based off dress codes.
They try to meet a standard. So setting a standard is a means of control.
Yes.
Is that a bad thing?
I think sometimes because like how you gonna control me and what I wear, I don't know. I think sometimes it is.
No, but I won't actually agree with that because you made a conscious
bro,
decision.
Corey be wearing crazy fits too. Just by the way, but go ahead, bro. Keep going. Just
bro, I ain't got dressed in months.
Go ahead.
I've been chilling.
Go ahead, bro.
You made a conscious decision to go to the club.
He got the Woodland camel pants on today. That's crazy.
They are nice.
No, they're not.
You said they were nice before we started filming. Oh my god.
Go ahead, bro. Keep going, man.
Listen, when it comes to controlling like
off the velvet ones though, it's crazy. Like, bro, come on.
Somebody likes it.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that with control, it's a crazy fit. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna post it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that control is there's a. My fit not nice, y'all.
He got that shit on. Control can be crazy. I got control over him right now. I'm just saying though, man. Control and fits is like clubs do that on purpose, right?
You made a conscious decision to go to the club, so if they have a dress code and pose, like that's something that you chose to be controlled by. You just can't get in unless you wearing that.
Bro, it's some clubs that like trust. You can't wear a hat in there.
Yeah.
You can't wear gym shoes in there. You can't wear white tees in there. Like you can't wear a hoodie in there, and you know why? Because it's associated with a certain demographic who's going to start problems or fight. And it's like, how do you keep that demographic away?
It's a control mechanism.
Exactly.
So let me speak on to people that kind of don't really like or appreciate the concept of being controlled. So I'm a. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
So I'm gonna take you somewhere. So right, come with me. Come
on. On board.
So there's two different types of people. You know, there's people that don't mind being controlled and might need to be controlled, and then there's the people that want to have control. Okay, so with these two different types of people, it's like entrepreneurship and employees, like not employees, but like the workforce and then the people that create the work. I think that some people have to fall into that line and be controlled because they simply don't want to have that much control anyway, so they'd rather be controlled.
They don't know how to be leaders.
Exactly.
They can't be leaders. Some people can't be leaders.
Exactly. So but it's important for them. We need role players. Every team needs role players. You know, it's important for people to be controlled, but it's also important to have people that kind of break that mold and do a little bit of controlling.
Do you think we can live life without being controlled?
No,
hell no.
Because the rules are designed to control certain situations.
Yeah.
The rules of the club.
I mean,
you can't wear a hat.
Religion. Government.
Not just
religion,
that. I mean, even
government
the club.
is important, but religion.
Even the club. Shout out to my baby, but the DJs control the club too.
For sure.
Think about that. So
yeah, a whack DJ will keep a club empty.
No cap, for real. I don't know why you're saying that looking at me, but
because you're the DJ in the room.
But
I didn't say you were whack.
Come on, man. Everybody know what I do on the wheels.
I didn't. You DJ events for me.
Yeah.
I've told other DJs no, so you could DJ my event.
Now,
so I'm not
saying, you put me on.
I'm not saying you whack. I'm just saying.
I agree. But I'm saying in that sense, like DJs control stuff. But I don't think we ever can live without being controlled. Like,
no, you need
control.
You absolutely need control.
Yeah.
And with control, you gotta. I don't know. That's why I keep like bringing like religion, government, like bigger entities. Like you gotta have something.
It's smaller than that, bro. It's smaller than that.
On an individual level.
Yeah, I think think about it. Who control your household? Growing up, who controlled the household?
Mom.
Moms. Everybody might think Pop's control, but
Hell no.
You know who in control of the household.
I ain't never. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever like successfully like when I was growing up asked my dad if I could go hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Like even if I did, I somehow ended up back asking mom.
I ain't have my dad in my house, but like growing up watching TV shows, like you always know who in control.
Man, that happy wife, happy life. We talked about that a little while ago, but that's real. But at the same time, you got to have a happy spouse, happy house. Because even if the woman's in control, if the man feels a certain way, this house is going. The men may go other places to find happiness. They go hit the bar. They go do whatever they're going to do before they come home, and they got the energy to do what they got to do. But if they're not happy, they ain't coming home till later.
I think that. I think that with that, let me find the words. So women absolutely, I think, control relationships at the end of the day. And I say that because with the thing with control is in order to maintain control, there has to be like a threat. Like if I break this mold, if I don't allow this person or this entity to control me, like there has to be like some type of punishment on the other side of that.
What's the punishment, Corey?
What's
the punishment women got?
Shit, you don't get sex, you get attitudes. They won't make you food.
Make you food.
Yeah, man.
Are you a toddler?
Yes.
So if your girl say, do this or I'm not cooking for you, you not gonna eat?
I'm doing that.
So
no, I'm gonna go get some food, but I'd rather have.
I don't agree. I'd be agreeing with you like 60% because I think control it swings both ways.
60% in general, like our whole friendship in the last 10 years.
We've been friends for 10 years?
It's 9, but.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But no, I think like control go both ways. Like some days sometimes you don't need to be in control. Like you don't know what you're talking about right now. I need to sit back, let me control the situation. Other times, go ahead, you got it, you lead.
Yeah, like, I don't have a desire to be in control at all times at all. I think that is so exhausting.
But a lot of men do though. It's very exhausting. A lot of men do. A lot of men who are not emotionally intelligent do, where they feel like I got to put my foot down. I got to be a manly man.
No.
I don't mind.
But that's the key right there. That emotional intelligence to understand when to make adjustments to pull back or to go harder or whatever. And that's the key. And once you understand and mature, you're like, oh, that's not even something I'm worried about.
Yeah, because we joke about it, but I don't mind. I don't know how to like if my order wrong or like out to eat or something. So I'll just like I got it. It's all right. Who cares? No, come back up. Like I can't do that myself. I've never been able to do that.
Man, I don't. So I've been in situations where I was the one like having a waiter come, and then I've been in them situations where I'm for sure. Go ahead, do your thing. Holler at the. That kind of goes with what I said. I can't be in control at all times. Yeah. That's too exhausting. I don't want somebody that I need to just control at all times in a relationship.
Do you ever feel like it's sometimes where you need control and you don't get it?
Yeah, for sure. I think I be needing like. Sometimes you need to get put in check. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You need somebody to steer you back the right way. And if you don't have that, then you are out of control. You need somebody to hem you up and kind of. Sometimes literally, but you need somebody to have some type of control over you. I think everybody needs that to
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But everybody, there's always, hey man, get your boy. Get your boy. Yeah. I don't know that dude. He came with you. You go ahead and control that.
Yeah, somebody that can get you back to your level.
Yeah. Because everybody, I mean, we may be responsible adults and be able to do things and control, but every now and then you wrong and you way wrong. And the more I come at you, it's just more and more conflict.
It's ever been time where you just was out of control?
2023.
I'm a laid back person, so it's very rarely.
I done seen dog out of control. Oh my God. I'm sorry to cut you off, sir, but I done seen bro out of control. Like, yeah, that was crazy.
Listen, I was on Father's Day. On Father's Day, we went to my uncle's house. It was like a gathering. And one of my uncles had actually went to that show that you were referring to, and he told the story all over again. So here I am in front of my entire family, and I'm standing, everybody else sitting. So I'm like, damn, like how I get put on the spot like this. But he told the story, and I was like, damn, I out of control in that moment.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, you were supposed to come, too.
I fell apart that day.
Yeah, I'm like...
I fell apart that
Listen,
day.
I'm not going to tell the whole story, but it
Please
was
don't.
crazy. I'm like looking at him like, Corey, bro. Like, you're ruining everything. Like, stop. I don't give a... I'm like, okay. He's clearly, like you said, I had to find his boy who I know can kind of control him. I'm like, bro, grab him, bro. What, Wayne? Yeah, and he kind of looked at him like, bro, you know, it ain't stop him all the way, but he just kind of like, but like, that was crazy. That was
call Orlando. Call Wayne.
I feel like I had like a year when I was out of control. Like, just, I think it was because I was angry and I was just so hurt by everything. And my out of control wasn't like that, like fighting. And no, I'm not saying. Mine was still bad. Bro, you know how much money I blew? Like, I'm talking about in the club every night. Always drinking, always like buying and paying for stuff. And just, I was just out of control because I just wanted to feel like, oh yeah, good again. But like, it was crazy. And I had to like sit down and realize, like, bro, you tripping. Like, you ain't got nothing to show for nothing you done in the last 3 months. Like, what are you doing? Like, sit down. I mean, late to work. Like, this is not a person who I wanted to be. Like, the ugly side of me. Like, we all got that ugly side. It's like, how do you let it out? Like, how do you control it? How do you make sure it's very minute and, like, you won't really display that side a lot? And I cut you off, but...
No, I mean, I say I'm a laid back person, and I am, but you ask other people. I'm sure my wife can give you plenty of examples.
But I mean, that's your partner. You like, y'all,
but
at this point, y'all been together longer than your kids been alive for real.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
That was a dumb analogy. I was going to say me, but I don't think so. How long have we been
together since 96. Well, I've been married since
so 2000. Not me. Since Corey.
I was born in 1996.
Since Corey. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I was born in 94,
26 years.
Yeah.
I'm tired of myself, so I can't even like after 26 years. I like I'm fed up with my damn self. I can't.
But you get
imagine.
So she been with you a whole quarter of a century. So y'all, you know, she done seen you at your worst.
Yeah, and that's true. And then I mean, I remember a lot of things, but there's some things I didn't do that. That wasn't me. But no, there's some, like I said in the beginning, I don't have I don't have any regrets. I'm like, oh, I regret doing that. I feel so bad. I feel stupid for doing some things, but I'm not. You know, I'm just not going to carry the weight of regret. But there's some things that was stupid. You were stupid. There was no reason for me to do that. To be like, oh, you just out here, and
just on trash.
I mean, just.
But why? What caused you to be out of control like that?
Emotions, angry, or just like I'm just gonna get mine. I can. No, I'm doing. I can.
Selfish.
So I will. Selfishness is a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it comes with the emotional intelligence of recognizing it and being able to kind of
out of control.
You know.
Yeah.
Listen to people and tell you like, yo, you on one. Chill out, man. Let's. You know, pull out of this, go separate yourself for a little bit, come back in. Because people remember, you know, they remember you for, you know, the people that don't know you and the next time they see you, that the only time they've ever seen you was that day. Corey, that's Corey the Wild Man. Like, you saw me one time.
Yeah.
One
time. That's who you are now.
But that's not.
And that suck, but that's who you are to them. And that's suck.
Right.
And it's about reinventing yourself. And we talk about that later, but like, I feel like that too. Like, I'm doing a lot to reinvent myself from college. Like, a lot. Because I don't regret.
It works. Good.
I had a ball.
It worked.
I had a good time, and I did what I was supposed to do. I got 2 degrees. I got a nonprofit. We did good work. But, like, the outside stuff that I did, it's like, dang. Like, everybody be like, you still be fighting? You still be doing? I'm like, no, bro. Like, that's not me, bro. I was just angry, bro. Like, I had to get help and stuff like that. So, like, reinvent yourself. But, sir, if you had to go back and tell little Damien L. Butler, what would you tell him about controlling himself?
You know, think beyond yourself. You know, think beyond today. You know, live in the moment, enjoy yourself, but think about what's coming. You know, because if you do something today, you can put yourself in a position where you're not going to get what you want tomorrow. So, think beyond today.
Corey, if you wanted to talk to Big Corey, Corey, from 10 years in the future, what would you ask him about, like, self-control? Or, in your case, control of others?
Control of others?
Yeah.
If I could ask myself 10 years from now a question about...
about controlling others. Just advice or a piece of information, a nugget, a gem, if you will.
Okay, so I have I got a strong desire to control. I like being in control of people and situations and stuff like that. So with that being said,
give
though,
him some help, bro.
With that, it's horrible. But with that being said, though, I would, if I could talk to myself 10 years from now, I would ask myself, am I doing it right? Like, how do I?
Right?
Yeah, am I controlling people right? Like, how did I, develop like the proper concept of controlling people? Like, how do I twist that?
Hey, that's a really good thought. Like, where did it stem from? Your need to control people.
Yeah, I want to know how can I harvest that and do it properly and
you think it come from like childhood trauma or something?
It absolutely came from childhood trauma because I was very controlled. I lived in a strict household
in Belleville.
So developing the concept of being able to control other people, that's an addictive feeling. But I would rather use that in a better way.
Do you get like a feeling of being high from controlling people? Have you ever seen the study of? So they did this study in the 90s. I think it was 90s. Don't quote me, but they did this study where they put 20 people together and they put half in as prisoners and then the other half as the jailers or the warden.
About the Stanford prison experiment or something.
Yeah.
And then, I watched that in college.
And they turned the cops, the people who were acting as cops, started abusing the prisoners and doing crazy stuff. And then the prisoners started acting like criminals, like they were really real life criminals. None of them was criminals.
So I watched that experiment, and I think that's a power trip that they were going through. And when I say that I like controlling people, I don't like controlling people on a personal level. Like my girlfriend, I don't want to control my girlfriend. I don't like that. I like controlling on like a franchise, like an enterprise level. I like being able to orchestrate something and then watch what I created, watch the control like that.
You see, that boy realized he got a 45-minute drive home. He cleaned it up.
No, I'm not even. I'm being real.
I agree with what he's saying.
I like orchestrating.
I know.
Like the perfect example is my show.
Yeah, I see.
That's the whole time I'm thinking. He's a director.
Yeah.
So I'm up here, but I got Dwayne running the show. I got Brianna doing this. I got my cast members doing it.
Like in your zone. Yeah.
I like controlling, but not on an individual level though, like on a franchise level.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think if I had to talk to my younger self about being controlling and things like that, I think understanding you can't control everything. Some things are out of your control, and it is what it is. We can't control when we're gonna have rain. We can't control that.
Joe Biden can, but that's a different conversation.
What?
Joe Biden can control.
We're not ending like that. What does that mean? You gotta explain that. We're not ending like that,
bro. The president got access to the weather machine.
So one person of this podcast thinks there's a weather machine, but do you think that?
Listen, man. I control
two
what
people
I
in this
know.
podcast.
I control what I can control. If the earth starts to shake, what do I need to do?
And that's how I feel. Young kid, young reader. Look, man, control what you can. Don't worry about the uncontrollable, because then you're gonna stress yourself out worrying about that and trying to fix stuff you can't change. And I think that's even for me now. I try to remind myself it's in the past. You can't control it. What you control now is what you do today and in the future.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another episode of Something Relevant. Check us out on all the streaming platforms. We're gonna be dropping 2 times a month. Yeah, man. We out.
Peace.
See ya.